How can a little thing like this help us hear better? Is it like headphones, just uglier? No, it's way cooler than that. So today, we're going to see what's inside a hearing aid, how it works, and do a test where you might find out you're not hearing that well anymore. Hey there. His grandpa, who works here with us, uses a hearing aid. Daniel found out that there were some that had already broken, that he had already replaced, but his grandpa kept the devices at home. So we received these beautiful gifts here at Manuel do Mundo, and it looks like they came in a jewelry box. Two hearing aids that are more dead than alive, but they still work a little. We can open them up to see what's inside without any fear. Before we start dissecting this thing, it's important for us to understand how we hear. Seeing sound when it happens, we get the impression that someone speaks, and at the same moment, we already understand. It's already inside our head, but the path is a bit more interesting than you might think. The sound we hear is the vibration of the air. It's the air shaking, but it could be anything vibrating. This table, for example, when I hit it, it vibrates and the sound reaches my ear. So sound can exist in solids and liquids too, because they also vibrate. But what matters to us here today is how it gets to our brain. Mrs. Fernanda will explain it to us with this beautiful ear here that I don't know why we bought from Manuel do Mundo.
It all starts here in what we call the ear. Actually, there's a much fancier name for it, which is auricular pavilion, but let's just call it ear, okay? So what does this ear do? It works like a funnel. The sound waves come in through here, and it channels those sound waves. It also helps us know if the sound is coming from above, below, from the sides, so it helps with the direction of the sound. And it also protects what's inside, which is more sensitive. Then the sound will pass through here, and it will reach a membrane that we call the eardrum. Here it works kind of like a drum. If we hit a drum, the membrane on top of it vibrates. Here it's the same thing. The sound passes through and the eardrum vibrates. Then as it keeps moving, it will also make some little bones here on the side move. If you want to get closer, look, there are some little bones right after the eardrum. And then
Let me pause. Do you know these three small bones? They are not in our Oswaldo.
Because they are very small.
They are so small, but so small that we couldn't print them and put them there. They are the smallest bones in the human body.
Yes, some of them are about 2 millimeters, 2 or 3 millimeters.
Yeah, so on the 3D printer, the resolution wasn't good. Unfortunately, our Oswaldo can't hear.
And these little bones also have three names, malleus, incus, and stapes, because they actually look like these objects. The stapes is the one that looks the most like it. For those who don't know what a stirrup is, anyone who rides horses should know on a horse's saddle there's a place underneath where you put your foot. It has exactly the same shape as this little bone here. Actually, the bone is called that because of the stirrup, not the other way around.
But I think people don't know what an anvil is either. It'll just be a moment. An anvil is a piece of steel that you use to hammer on when you're shaping something, making a sword, for example. You must have seen that, someone with that hot steel, right? Red. You hit it with a hammer to shape the steel. They're the ones that transmit the eardrum's movement inward.
That's right. So they're going to start moving too. And then the last one here, which is the stirrup, will push this one that looks like a little snail. It's a spiral. It's called the coch. This cochlea has fluid inside, and the cells are full of tiny little cilia that move like this. And then as the little bones keep hitting there, the cochlea will also start moving. Eek. And those cells with cilia will turn those vibrations into electrical signals.
It's like the cochlea is the ear's sensor. It's the CCD, like the sensor in a camera. It's the ear's sensor, our real microphone.
Exactly. And then when it turns those vibrations into electrical signals, it will send them through a nerve here until they reach the brain. And the brain is the one that actually interprets that sound. You only realize there's sound in the environment when it reaches the brain. Before it gets there, you're not hearing anything. It seems really fast, right? It seems almost simultaneous.
We know sound takes time to travel, but since I'm right here, it seems instant. When I listen to myself speak, it's in sync with my words.
But the sound needs to reach me, and then after it gets to me, it has to go through all this process and reach the brain. But it's really fast.
One important thing to understand, the problems we can have with our ears, is to know that there are sounds that are lower, like this one here. And sounds that are higher, like this one here. In lower sounds, in deeper sounds, things are vibrating more slowly. So if we could see in slow motion a lower sound, the speaker cone here would be moving forward and backward slowly. When we hear a higher pitched sound, it's the opposite. The speaker cone moves really fast. To measure whether a sound is lower or higher, we do that in hertz. Hertz simply means times per second. So a sound of 100 hertz means the speaker vibrated 100 times in a second. It went back and forth 100 times in a second, LD. Humans can hear sounds that range from about 20 hertz, which are very low sounds, where the speaker moves very slowly, up to 20,000 hertz. So that speaker would vibrate 20,000 times per second. That's for a very young person with very healthy hearing. In practice, that's not exactly what happens.
The different regions of the cochlea, which Iburn made in different colors, these different regions are responsible for the different frequencies that we hear. So he mentioned there that these higher frequencies are the higher pitched sounds. And this little part here of that snail is responsible for hearing these higher frequencies, these higher pitch frequencies. Whereas in the middle, it's the opposite. It would be the lower sounds, the lower frequencies. So if something happens to any of these regions, for example, an infection or even physical damage, you will end up losing, either completely or partially, the hearing of that frequency. As we get older, we start losing this region here. See the higher pitched sounds. In fact, we're going to do a test here.
The idea is to measure how much you are no longer hearing the higher pitched sounds. Two important things first. This is not a medical test, okay? We don't have much precision, so you can't leave here saying, wow, I can't hear anymore because of this. It's more of a fun way for us to realize that this really happens. And second, depending on the device you're using to play this sound, whether it's your cell phone, your TV, or your computer, it might be that the speaker can't go beyond 16 or 17,000 hertz, simply because the device can't reproduce that frequency. Or maybe because you're watching a YouTube resolution that lost some audio quality, or whatever the reason might be. But the fact is that the technology we're using in the video and everything else isn't made for sounds that are that high-pitched. But I think it's likely that if you're over 50 years old, maybe you won't reach that frequency. Let's get started, okay? Pay attention. Go to a quiet place. 1, 2, 3, and
That was together.
all right, people understood. I'm gonna do it. Let's do the test here on Manual de Mundo to see how people are hearing. So let's go. Should we start at 12 already? Perfectly, right? Perfectly. I'll jump to 14. I can hear it. Can you hear it?
I think it's clear that it's 14,000, right?
14,000 haze. 15,000 is already my limit. I don't think I'll make to 16. I won't make it to 16. I can't hear it. Did you hear it?
But it's really quiet.
Oh, age is already making a difference here. I can hear it, but at 16, I can't hear it anymore. At 16, I can't hear it anymore. 17, no.
17,
Fernanda,
no.
time catches up with you, Fernanda. 17,000, you stopped at 16. I stopped at 16. Let's see Julia, who's the youngest person here at Manual do Mundo. She turned 20 yesterday.
14,000, okay, I'm listening. It's all good.
All good. 15,000. All good. Here, I can't hear it anymore. No way. If I put it really close. Yep, I can barely hear it way in the back of my head. Like an old 16. 16,000, yeah.
Age catches up with us, right, guys?
What's up? Listen, can you hear it okay? No.
16.
Are you hearing normally? Yes.
It's not loud, but you can hear it at that volume.
Normal. 18,000 hertz. This is a cool thing that shows the device can play it. Can you hear it here? No, no. Nothing, not even close. No, 19,000, 19,000, yeah. Julia went further.
But she's the baby of Manuel do Mundo.
Yours already did.
Are you really listening?
Yes. Listening.
Skin is Daniel. It's really you. Let's see how much you've damaged your hearing over the years. I'm going to play the frequency, and you tell me if you can hear it. Here we go. Starting with 12,000 hertz.
Can you hear it?
13,000 hertz.
Is it playing? Yeah, I can't hear anything.
Seriously, you can't hear it.
I can't hear anything.
Are you listening to music too loud in your headphones?
Wow. No way, I'm not playing anything. I said,
Damn, I'm screwed. I'm deaf. Damn, what a mess. Let's go. I can hear.
15,000, this is where it starts.
I can still hear. Can you hear 16,000?
17.
You can hear it. I think it's only when you click.
I can't hear anything, I still hear it. Can you hear it now? I only heard the video. Fernanda, he's already hearing better than you.
In my defense, he's younger.
I think the next one already played. No, I can't hear anything.
Now I can't hear.
Giving a teva.
The younger ones are doing better at this. You know. Can you hear it? Yes. All right, now this one.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes. Now this one. Can you hear it? Yes, not this one. No. No. Can you hear it? It was off. No, was it? Is it on or off now? Are you guys hearing it? Yes. And now, is it on or off? Off. Can you hear it? Yes. 19,000 hertz. And now, I don't know.
Daddy, very little. It's just that I remember the hurt.
Yeah, that's the problem. The strange noise sticks in our heads and confuses us. No. No. So you stopped hearing? You went up to 19,000 hertz. Congratulations.
I'm more nervous than I was with the shock.
Let's go. Can you hear it?
I can hear it. Let's go.
Can you hear it?
Are you nervous? Yeah, of course.
I stopped hearing it. You stopped. Really? Really? Are you kidding? No. That's 11,000 hertz, 11,500 is the limit.
I can hear it, but not constantly.
I'll set it to 12,000.
No, if you told me it's not on.
You didn't hear. I didn't hear. I can hear it fine.
Me too.
1.
That,
No, you guys are mocking?
it's like a mosquito buzzing by your ear.
That's why they bite me nightly.
Very good, Rodolfo. Congratulations.
Always a pleasure.
Yeah, we were doing the hearing test to check for high-pitched sounds, right? So we were seeing how far each person here in the office could hear. The older people hear a little less, right? The younger ones heard more, and then there was one person who stopped hearing at 11,000. And he's 40 years old. Should only he be worried?
No, it's great. Isn't it great? It's not great. Okay. Because you see our conventional exam, right? We go up to 8,000 hertz. And after that, it's what we call a high frequency evaluation, which is only done in specific cases. It's not something we do every day. So having up to 11,000 at 40 is good.
That's a relief.
Since we don't have anyone much older here at Manual, I asked my parents to do it at their house. They sent an audio message here, telling what happened and mentioning their ages too. So you guys can get an idea, see the difference in results here at Manual do Mundo.
Hey, wherever look, I'm 73 years old and it showed here 4,654 hertz.
Dad, you're not hearing well because 4,654 are already sounds you should be hearing. Mom.
Hi, Eber, 70 years old, and the result was 7,600 hertz.
Yeah, my mom is already a little better. They asked 2 friends to do it too, Murilo. I'm Murilo.
I'm 57 years old and I got 13,860.
Murilo is hearing much better now. And also Branco.
I'm 67 years old, and my result was 920.
Look how interesting. Taking all the results, we basically have a staircase. The younger people can hear much higher pitches than the older ones. It's really a matter of age. You lose the high frequencies over time. It's interesting for us to notice that. From a certain point, this starts to become a more serious problem because we stop hearing the sounds around us. But that's usually not the most serious hearing problem. No, the more serious problem, which is usually why people use hearing aids, is when people stop hearing lower frequencies, which are closer to the human voice.
We always hear that listening to music too loud on headphones, or for example, if you work in a very noisy place, can harm your hearing, right? Yeah, and have you noticed that more and more young people are needing hearing aids? Maybe because of that? Because they listen to a lot of music on headphones at a very high volume.
We're going to notice this more a little further down the line, right? We already have data from the WHO. I think by 2030 or 2050, the number of people will have with hearing loss. And one of the factors is the use of headphones. Yeah, but the music itself, when it's too loud, it ends up damaging the ear because the sound, the vibration of the sound, this physical energy hits the ear with a lot of force. It keeps hitting those cells that look like little hairs. It keeps hitting constantly until they start dying. So as they start dying, this causes hearing loss, right? So we will have it not right now, not in these teenagers now.
In the long run.
Yes, but a little further ahead, it will start to increase.
One of the solutions could be a hearing aid. And what does it do? It's not just a headset that picks up ambient sound and amplifies it. It will increase the volume in the areas you're not hearing. It will, if you're not hearing well here in the 4000s region, it will pick up the sounds that are around 4000 Hz and amplify them in that specific region. It's like an equalizer that adjusts to the problem you have. If you're not hearing well here, it will increase the volume of things here so you can hear better.
Yeah, another thing we wanted to know is if there's a limit for the hearing aid. Like from this point on, it's not worth using the device anymore. It won't help at all.
There is a limit. Yeah, it's really hard to answer that, Kutoma. But nowadays, we have devices that can help with almost profound hearing loss, Kutama. But when it goes beyond profound loss, when the patient can't hear anymore, we can move on to the surgical part, which is cochlear implants, which are electrodes that are placed inside the cochlea, which is the organ in the ear. But that's a surgical procedure. We go to the operating room and the patient needs to go through a series of tests to see if they are suitable for this type of device.
Let's put our dirty hands on this little thing. I mean, I think it's actually dirtier than we are. Look, this one here. Nothing personal, but there's some earwax from Danny's flight.
Glad this video is only for people like us who don't get grossed out, right?
Yeah, Fernanda and I here are famous for not being grossed out by absolutely. Well, not absolutely everything, right? But we handle it well. We handle it well. Let's go. There's nothing on the tip, right? It's just a little tube that carries the sound to the ear canal, from what I understand.
You mean this little path here?
Yeah, this path is just a little tube, right? Oh, the earphone. The part that actually hears where the speaker is, that's inside, right? Yeah, so...
From what I understand, this works more or less like this. We have a microphone.
Exactly. 2 small holes, right? That's it. Let me zoom in on the mic.
This microphone will pick up the sound and turn the sound into electrical signals. Then these electrical signals go to a little part that's going to be inside here, which we can't see yet. Aha! And it's exactly in this little part, which we call either an amplifier or a processor, that this sound will be processed. Right? But not as sound anymore, as electrical signals, and that's when whatever needs to be adjusted will be adjusted. So it will remove noise, increase what needs to be increased, decrease what needs to be decreased, and so on.
That depends on the person, not the device. It's interesting. It's not just buying a ready-made device, putting it in your ear, and being done. It must be tailored to the person's issue. Otherwise, it'll just amplify everything, making it unpleasant for the user. Exactly. I imagine the person will hear everything at a really high volume, and it'll just make the mess they already hear even worse.
The person needs to go to an audiologist, do a test called audiometry, which is kind of like what we did, but more professional.
How decent.
The speech therapist will adjust the device for the person. And then these electrical signals will come here to the speaker or the receiver, and it will become a sound wave again.
That's right. I think the speaker's inside, not at the tip. What do you think? I believe that's just a rubber plug, but I'm unsure about the one you're holding.
I think it's inside here.
Do you think it's in this one?
Look, do you think it's here at the very end?
I think it's right at the very end. At least in this one. Look.
Maybe in this one.
In this one. I don't see anything here at the tip. It's empty. I think the speaker is somewhere around here at the base. In this one? Yeah, here at the base. In yours? Which looks more modern, it might be there. Is there a wire going down? From where? Here. Yeah, does it run inside this little thing? Is there a wire? Is there a wire? If you have a wire, then it's at the tip.
I mean, I think so, right? Like, I think there is, but if it's kind of transparent like this, you know. So I'm not sure. We'll see when we open it.
Let's open it. Let's open it. Let's open it. Should I open the other one?
Let's just show how to use it. I don't think we showed it. So this bigger part goes here behind the ear, and the part that will direct the sounds to the person's ear fits right here.
Before taking it apart, we have these buttons here. Basically, this one is for turning it on and off. And there's a little switch for if you're in a quieter or noisier place, we can turn it on and it's working more or less. Yeah, I'm not gonna actually put the hearing aid on for real because it's dangerous. I'm not sure if it can cause any permanent damage to my ear, but just by putting it close, you can already notice that it really increases the sound it produces. It's pretty weird for someone who doesn't have the problem, right? I'm gonna put the microphone here so you can get a sense of what's happening. Sound, hey, play it. Jazim. Okay, Jansen. Is it weird? It's giving off a kind of feedback, something weird like that. There, look, that's how it is. No, it's horrible when that happens. But whoever is there is getting a sense of how I'm hearing this thing.
Hello?
What is it? You cover something here, and it goes crazy like that.
Just check. It might not work right.
Sound hey hey ah. Woohoo.
Well, the other thing, right? Don't scold us, okay? But yesterday, when we were recording, we wanted to test the hearing aid that we had here with us, but I don't know if it wasn't working properly either. It was giving some kind of feedback, making a really loud noise like this. And then my question is it bad for someone with normal hearing to use a hearing aid? Yes, it is.
Right? Because it's going to be a kind of noise, an exposure to noise that you don't need inside your ear. And it can definitely be harmful, of course. If it's just for testing or something small, that's fine. But using it continuously, yes, it can be harmful. It has to be, it's the same thing as putting on glasses with a 5-diopter prescription when you don't need them. It's
Yes.
Done. Let's take this thing apart and stop wasting time. Here's a battery, which must be one of the heaviest parts of the device. This must be uncomfortable to use. Right, it's a big battery.
It was out before, but we just put it in now before recording.
To test. You guys just put it in now. Here, there's this duct, which I think I can already unscrew. Look, this one doesn't have any pipe. Fernanda. In fact, it's just a little tube here that carries the sound to the ear. And here there's this thread, which is for fastening. Now I'm gonna have to unscrew these little things here. Look. Now I'm in trouble. Now it's gonna be complicated. These little screwdrivers of mine are more worn out than anything. Wow. I've already stripped the whole screw here. There's no way it's gonna have to be done by improvising now. Ha ha. Damn. It's a really tiny thing, really microscopic.
Now let's
Try to identify each thing here. Look, this is probably where the speaker is, because the sound comes out from here. And it goes in through here. Look, this is the microphone. Yeah, and it's even facing outward. That's right. Look, this is facing outward. The sound goes in here. This is the microphone. It will go to this board here, which is what controls everything. Here, there's a little adjustment button. Look at the adjustment here.
Look, but do they really have to open the device like this to adjust it?
Yeah, I don't know how to adjust this. We'll have to ask.
Yeah, nowadays, right? The devices are all adjusted on a computer using software.
For adjustments. Here there's a small board and microscopic wires that send the signal. We can make it work like this, right? Isn't it strange that this speaker is so powerful? Look at this. Just look. This is the speaker. That's where the sound comes out. This is the microphone. Really tiny. The board that controls everything. Here, we can see the 2 buttons. Also 2 controls, probably to adjust the frequency. And the little wire that connects everything is extremely thin. Look, let's try to open the tiny speaker here. I don't think I'll be able to do this very successfully, but no. I'm gonna have to use slightly more radical tools. Look at the little membrane in here. Check it out. This is what vibrates probably see. It's flexible. And here in the remains, there's probably a coil. That's what's inside a speaker, a coil that's wound with wires, right? Here's the magnet. It's a micro speaker. This one is another one. It's the small one. First, we need to check if it has the cable. Do you think it does?
I think that if the other one have it, you probably won't have it either.
I don't think it has it. It doesn't. This is the little tube like the other. First, let's remove this. Just look.
Look at this one. It's cuter.
Right, this one is more. It's more carefully designed. That's why it's so small, because it's more compact. But it looks like a modern car engine, right? But we can see the same elements. Look, this here is the little speaker. It's a little smaller. The boards, they're distributed throughout the device, right? It's not just one board. There are several boards. This is really interesting. I can't seem to find the microphone. Look at the microphone hidden here, Fernanda. There are 2. See, it's these 2 little dots here.
Something flew in my direction here, I think.
Look at the microphone. A piece of the microphone flew off. There are 2 microphones. And I don't know what else is inside. I imagine it's the electronic part, which is all spread out over several layers here. Really complex. Here, look, here is the battery box, the control board. Here we have the microphones, which are already broken. There's nothing left of them. And here is the speaker box. It's all taken apart. I think you got the idea how it works. The final message that stays. The way on this one's volume, so you don't have to use this one here.